Happy to have you here on our live today. Today we are doing a Barack Obama impression. I am the President of the United States, and Amala is here wondering, where is my birth certificate?
Hello, my fellow Americans. I am wondering that.
Who are you really impersonating? I can't tell.
It's my impersonation of Obama.
I've heard better. I have to say it.
Okay, for a 20-year-old female, I think I'm doing a pretty good job at doing Obama.
It was okay. You know, I've heard better, but Taylor, how was your Obama?
I don't think I can participate in this one, guys.
Yeah, this is going to get me canceled for doing an Obama impression.
Yeah, it probably will.
Whatever.
This is auditory blackface.
Yeah, auditory.
Digital blackface. That's a real thing, guys. I'm sorry to say it, but it is a real thing.
Yeah,
Digital
sorry.
blackface.
So if Taylor and Amala have to hear my horrible Obama impression, you guys have to hear it too.
Yes,
so
exactly.
That was our accent today, but we got some good stuff for you guys today on our live. You guys if you didn't know, we go live every single day, Amala and I, at 2:30 p.m. PST. That's 5:30 p.m. Eastern, where we go over the news. We talk about stuff going on with PragerU. We talk about culture, politics, history. I mean, all sorts of stuff going on. So make sure that you have post notifications on with PragerU. You're subscribed. You're hitting the bell button so that you never miss anything, and that you are watching these lives every day, because we give you guys the ammunition that you can take out into the world, so that when you see this crazy leftist stuff happening in the world, you know how to battle against it, right? That is what we are here for. So, first story of the day is about McDonald's, okay? McDonald's is a company, you know, we've all grown up with. Everyone's had a Happy Meal once in their life. Right?
We're all well aware of McDonald's,
Everyone
I
knows
think.
McDonald's. And so now McDonald's has partnered with We Can Do This, and they have said, as part of our ongoing efforts to support communities and local neighborhoods during the COVID-19 pandemic, McDonald's is partnering to make access to information on vaccines even easier for the millions of customers who enjoy McDonald's each day in the U.S. So basically what they're doing, they are partnering to give people an incentive to get the vaccine, and they are putting vaccine stuff on all of their products. There was a screenshot of I don't know if it's on here on this article, but there was a screenshot of, essentially it was like a McDonald's, like a fry thing, you know, the thing they put the fries in, and then it had like a vaccine on it, and they're telling people to get vaccinated. So basically McDonald's is going on and now telling you to go and get vaccinated. It seems like every single company is coming out nowadays and having this message and partnering with someone and pushing it so hard to so many different people.
Yeah, isn't it funny to hear that McDonald's is going to be giving you your health and wellness guidance to the American people?
If you're going to McDonald's for health guidance, I mean, I think that's your first problem.
Yeah, so a little quote from this article. Thanks to McDonald's, people will now be able to get trusted information about vaccines when they grab a cup of coffee or order their meal. Is that something that you ever thought that you were going to be hearing from McDonald's?
This is the level of trust. When you go to McDonald's and you get a McRib, you ever had a McRib?
I haven't.
You haven't had a McRib?
No, I haven't. I've actively avoided McRibs.
Okay. Well, people think that a McRib is like actual ribs. They think that it's like, all it is like ground up pork shaped into the shapes of a rib. And they trust that this is like real food. I don't eat McDonald's, guys. I don't eat McDonald's.
I feel played. I never knew that.
You what?
No, I knew it was some sort of mystery meat, but I didn't know it was like ground ribs, and that's why they call it a rib. They do shape it like
They shape it like a McRib, but it's actually not even all. I think it's like, I could be misspeaking, but I watched this whole like documentary about the McRib.
Mm-hmm. This is what Will does in his free time, ladies and gentlemen.
But it's like, you can't trust McDonald's to give you anything accurate about health information, okay? I mean, people who eat McDonald's every single day die an early death.
It's so true. And to think about it in specific relation to COVID-19 is just an insane thing to think about, because how many people were hospitalized? I think they said something along the lines of... Yes,
78%.
Nearly 80% of people hospitalized with COVID-19 had also the comorbidity of being morbidly obese.
If McDonald's wanted to do something about COVID-19 and help people, they should tell people to stop eating their food.
Exactly. They would just shut down all of their businesses and say, okay, we're doing a favor for the American people. You are now much safer from COVID-19 as of today.
I just don't like the virtue signaling from companies. We've talked, I mean, it comes up all the time because it's so prevalent, but the virtue signaling of a company coming out and saying, we are doing this because we really care about you. We care so much. We don't want people to be offended, so we're going to cancel this racist thing from our past, or we're going to do this thing about COVID or the vaccine. It's like, are you doing this because you actually care? Or are you doing this because you want to push an agenda? Again, like we just said, if McDonald's actually cared, they would serve healthier things on their menu to help people because, again, 78% of the people hospitalized had some sort of overweight issue for COVID-19. So it's like if they wanted to really do something, they would do something like that. But that's not what they're doing. They're doing it because they see this as a way to make a quick buck and have people think, oh, McDonald's is really helping people. Not that they actually want to do something good for the community. You see this with all the companies.
Exactly. You should never trust anything that's happening behind this multi-billion-dollar company that's pushing an agenda. That's exactly what it is. They wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't benefiting them in some sort of way, whether that has to do with sales or somebody who's giving them money to do what they're doing. This is not done with good intent by any means. And like I said, it's just a strange juxtaposition to watch McDonald's, who is a strong source of just obesity in America, fight for you to get your COVID-19 vaccine and give you health and wellness advice.
It was like Uber. I did a video about this where Uber came out with a slogan. I was in Dallas shooting some videos, and they had a big billboard. It was Uber, and it said, like, if you're a racist, then don't ride in our cars, right? It's like, we're not going to pick you up if you're a racist. It's like, oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm sure
you don't want my money?
Yeah, exactly. Well, are you a racist?
I'm not a racist.
That's good. I don't think you're a racist.
Thank
You're
you.
black. You can't be racist.
Oh, that is true. The left would stand by that statement.
Yeah, unless you're a conservative.
Unless I'm a conservative, which I am.
Who wants to be
so.
white. So.
Yeah, I do get called that I want to be white quite often.
But it's like this company, like also, first of all, when you say don't be a racist, you can't come into my car as a racist. They're basically saying don't be a conservative. Don't be a conservative and come into our cars.
Yep.
They're pushing against people like that. That's what it all is. They use their their virtue and their woke virtue signaling as a guise of we want to help people and we want to be so inclusive and help everyone, but it's really anti-conservative. I mean, it's anti, like, historically things that have been American values. They are now fighting against those things. That's what all the woke companies do. That's what these multi-billion-dollar companies do. They do it because they hate conservatives. They hate the things we stand for. Coca-Cola, Disney, Uber, McDonald's. They don't support the values that you support. I am done supporting companies that don't support my values. I had someone ask, this was the other day. People thought this was real Coca-Cola. It's not. This is Woca-Cola, which is from a sketch that we did a couple months ago.
I'll put it in the comments for everyone just so they can go to the link and watch the sketch.
Yeah, watch the sketch because it was actually very funny. Were you in that?
No, I wasn't.
No.
That was before my time.
Oh, that was before Amala's time.
Wow.
Amala is fairly young.
I am fairly new.
How long have you been here for? Like 3 months?
I started March 15th, so
okay.
yeah.
Oh, like 2 months.
Couple months now.
Wow.
Look at me.
Yeah. Anyway, this is from a skit. It's not a real bottle of Coca-Cola for all the people asking.
Yeah, you can't just let these companies just pander and pander and pander over and over again and not do anything about it. You really do vote with your dollar and where you patronize. And I would not be patronizing McDonald's. They have no interest in your health, in your wellness by any means. Like we said, if they had any interest in that, they would simply shut down their business. And no, they decide instead that they want to virtue signal you and claim to be promoting your health as a business and as a company, when that's just not true.
McDonald's is committed to making helpful information accessible to our customers, who are encouraged to share the campaign using hashtag #WeCanDoThis to inspire others to learn more about what they can do to help end the pandemic. McDonald's is single-handedly ending the pandemic because of this. Thank you, McDonald's. We really appreciate you.
Yeah, exactly. What McDonald's is actually doing is hopping onto a topic that everybody is talking about, attaching their name to it so that their company circulates through all the conversation that is being had around COVID-19 and the vaccines. That's all that they're doing. It's very plain. It's very simple. And people who don't see through this, I don't know what to tell you.
I think there's a lot of things wrong with the food we eat in America right now. I'm actually a pretty big believer in this, even though I have like a beer belly. I'm pretty big into like healthy.
Dad bods are in now.
Yeah,
so
dad bods.
They
are.
are.
Yeah, but like I eat I hate having to even say this because it makes me. Anytime you talk about like food or something and you say like I eat clean food, it makes it feel like I'm talking about like I'm holier than thou. That's not what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to talk about my diet and what I do. I stay healthy. I only eat like grass-fed beef.
Okay.
Free-range chicken eggs. They taste better too. Like I do most of my shopping at the farmer's market here in Los Angeles, and it's like I don't know. Was
it grass-fed beef we had at In-N-Out yesterday?
Yeah. Listen. Oh yeah. Okay. Fine. You can have a cheat day every once in a while. Okay. Every
By
once
the way,
in a while.
who had trash from a certain company in their car yesterday when they gave us a ride?
Yeah.
So I went to McDonald's breakfast 2 days ago, and it's not something that I like to do as a trend in my life.
Here.
Please. Well, Taylor, you actually eat the most fast food.
I do,
well, I don't know,
but
maybe
I'm
Amala
like
does
proud
too.
about it. I'm not ashamed.
I mean, I'm
like
not
I'm not
ashamed of it at all.
I'm proud that I don't. I am proud that I don't. I'll tell you, I went to
the last.
Yes, definitely. I went to with my ex-girlfriend. We went to eat Taco Bell. Like this was in like January, and it was the first time I've had Taco Bell in like 2 years. And
Love Taco Bell.
I'm telling you, it tasted so bad. It tasted so bad. After you don't have fast food for a while, like it tastes so bad. I think that like so many look at the problems that we have in America with obesity and people being fat. I mean, it's a huge issue. People are dying because of obesity, heart problems. I mean, all of this happening. Too much sodium, too much sugar, because of the things that we eat. I mean, again, I'm not in perfect health in any sense of the word. Trust me, I am not. But I think that if we really want to move forward as society, I mean, we have to look at cleaner solutions for eating, first of all. I think that's really important.
We do. There are so many things that we need to fix as a society, and that leads us into our next article, which is the fact that Gen Z is one of the.
You don't want to talk about food anymore?
I'm done talking about food.
Over it.
She's like, I'm eating fast food every day. She like, doesn't want to talk about it.
For the record, I do not eat fast food every single day. I would say I eat fast food a few times a month. How's that?
Well, we've seen your cooking, solid. So I understand why you would eat fast food and not.
Will is just roasting me. That's a whole separate story of a steak that I made, and I sent a picture to William over here, and he did not like the way that it looked.
Well, I don't think anyone would like it.
I saw the picture. It wasn't a great looking.
Yeah, it wasn't a great looking.
You know what I mean?
But what's funny is like you were like proud of it. You sent us the picture like, hey guys, check out what I'm cooking. And
I was proud of it. I also make a mean cheese platter. Takes a lot of skill to do that.
That's not cooking. That's going to the grocery store, buying Kraft singles and putting them on a plate.
It takes some skill. You know, you have to set it up in a way that's visually pleasing to the eye.
One day, if you ever get married, you're going to need to learn how to cook.
I am a very good cook. I learned from my grandmother. So I'll take steak. I'll take that L on the steak thing because men should be cooking steak. I stand by that. That's a hot take that I'll stand by right now. Men should be the ones cooking steak.
Fair.
Everything else they can take care of.
That's true.
Okay. Fair enough.
Amala had a bite of my sandwich today, and it was not the best sandwich of your entire life.
It was a very good sandwich.
Good. Cucumbers on the sandwich. Key.
Yeah, not something I've ever heard of before, and that's why I had to try it. He put cucumbers on his sandwich.
Mm-hmm. Well,
another hot
fun fact, Will for lunch, when he brings lunch, he brings like 10 different containers and like fills up the fridge with all of his stuff and like puts together these elaborate sandwiches with like 10 different ingredients like in the staff kitchen. And that's like, you can smell it from across the hall too.
Yeah, you can smell the goodness of what I'm making. Pita wrap with shawarma chicken, tabbouleh, tzatziki. It's like, get on it.
Anyways,
I'm sure this is a fascinating discussion.
Will is clearly very happy with himself, which is, not the same that we can say for most people in his generation. This brings us to our next article here.
That's a great transition.
Two great transitions,
Amazing.
like back to back.
You guys keep screwing up my little segues into the next story, so I have to come up with another one. This one is from Wall Street Journal. It's called "To Be Young and Pessimistic in America." And this was actually a pretty interesting read. It's written by Abigail Schreier. And what she's talking about is that people in Generation Z, the generation that I'm in, and then Will's generation, what would you count yourself as, Will?
I'm the last year of millennial.
The last year of millennial. Yeah. And then Taylor himself is also a millennial.
Smack dab in the
Taylor is a millennial who's actually a boomer.
What does that even mean?
It means you're like a boomer even though you were born in the millennial years.
I feel like I'm like a prototypical millennial because like 1990 is my birth year and that's like right in the middle of the range they usually give. So whatever. You're talking about Britney Spears and stuff. Like I actually have those memories. Like I actually experienced it. I feel like you're reaching a little bit.
I was there too. I promise.
You were 1 year old.
Anyways. Well, apparently, according to this article, my generation, Generation Z, is extremely depressed, anxious, and lonely. And this is due to a number of factors. I've pulled a few quotes here from it, so I'm going to pull these up for you. So the quotes here. So Miss Twench, who is somebody who did a study on this, on the effects of, the generational situation that we're in right now with Gen Z as compared to millennials and Generation X. So Miss Twench writes that one thing that's affecting us is social media and how we're always on our phones and how we are not really connected to people in person. We're not doing much in-person socializing as teens. And this leads to high rates of anxiety, depression, and self-harm. She's called Generation Z the loneliest generation on record.
I would agree with that.
I would agree too. I think...
But it seems obvious. I mean, Gen Z is of course going to be this generation. I mean, it was the same with millennials like millennials my age who when we were going through high school and stuff still had social media and everything like that. I mean, everything you do is a comparison to someone else nowadays. Instead of like focusing on ourselves and doing things that bring us happiness, like hobbies and stuff like that, it's like everything we post, everything we see online, we are now comparing ourselves to this other person. I mean, think about what that's like for women. I mean, women going online. This is why social media has gotten to a place where it's like you go on Instagram or you go on TikTok and it's like women are basically selling their bodies. So many women are doing that because it's like they want to compare themselves to other women who are doing this, and then it's like a whole battle against each other where they're vying for attention. They feel like that's the best way to vie for attention, and it sucks that it is that way. You know, that you can't have like this great morality on social media with so many people that they've perverted into this new like the thoughts.
Yeah, I mean, and social media is so curated. Nobody is actually who they are on social media. They're showing you what is essentially the best part of their lives, and even then, those are false moments. They're faking. They're just showing you what you want to see, and in return, you see all these people who are so happy and living these beautiful, successful lives, who happen to be young and your age and prettier than you are, and you feel this innate need to compare yourself to those people. So social media really does set you up for failure in that sense. And the more and more that we say we're getting connected through technology and we're going global and you can connect yourself to people all across the world, the less connected we are to our actual communities who are right in front of us.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true. I mean, look, I say this a lot, but the amount of people who go to church, is way down. The amount of people like who actually believe in religion is way down. Like our communities are failing in America.
Yep.
Our culture has gotten completely centralized on social media. LA, New York, San Francisco. I mean, these cities control the marketing and the ads that we see every single day. They control the news, and that is what we see every single day. And they're mass marketed to a wide American audience and not local community audiences. I mean, it used to be like you live in, let's say, Cheyenne, Wyoming, and I'm sure they still have like a Cheyenne Post or something like that. But, you know, people don't like actively go out of their way to talk with people in their communities about the local issues and the things going on. It's more like I wake up, I go on Twitter, I go on Apple News, I go on CNN, and I see these mass marketed news stories that are happening. And so then there is no sense of community between people. Like this is kind of like the whole populist nationalist thing going into more of it. I know it's kind of a little bit separate, but it's the same because it's like what brings a country together? What is the cohesiveness of America right now that we can all like stand behind and say, yes, we are Americans. We are proud to be Americans. Like for most people, even a lot of conservatives, even for me sometimes, where it's like, what brings us together to make me proud of this country? I don't feel like I have like that American pride of my community all the time because I don't know what America at this point in history is really standing for. So I know that's kind of a lot I'm throwing at you right there, but it's like the communities that we used to have in America that were more local driven, or smaller church driven, whatever it might be, are disappearing in this country because the big leftist cities are mass marketing it to us, their leftist culture.
No,
and that is what
so
America
right.
is becoming.
You're so right. I mean, back in the day, people had shared tradition. We shared our love for this country. We shared our love for family. Everybody was looking out to, you know, create a family and create these bonds and create a nice community. And we don't share those characteristics anymore as an American people. But the one thing that we do share is that we all have iPhones and we all have access to social media and we can all hop on the internet and share how great our lives are in this curated fashion that allows people to pat you on the back with likes and give you instant gratification rather than going out and doing the hard thing, which is actually building a community, actually building a family, actually going out and taking steps that are going to better your life rather than just posting what you want on the internet. And it's coming to real tangible problems in our society. So the article writes, members of Generation Z are far less likely to date, to obtain a driver's license, to hold down a job, or hang out with friends in person when compared to millennials at the same age.
Yeah, and even millennials are doing badly. I mean, it's not like millennials are doing really that well at this point in their lives. The average age of the millennials is about 32, which is pretty close to 35. They own about 3% of the nation's wealth. Millennials own 3% of the nation's wealth right now.
Crazy.
At the same age, baby boomers owned 21% of the nation's wealth. Right? Millennials are getting married later than baby boomers and Gen Xers. They are not buying houses as early as Gen Xers and baby boomers were. They're not moving out of their parents' place. I mean, there are so many problems that are happening with our younger generations right now that they are just not growing up. The problem is that none of these people are growing up and becoming adults. They've been so coddled. They've been so sanctioned by leftism. They don't actually get out of their own houses and go and do things that are admirable, right? They just want to stay home and be force-fed all this stuff on social media and not actually go and do anything. And so they're not becoming an adult. They're not becoming adults, and we have a bunch of immature people running around. I mean, I moved out of my house at, 18 years old, moved out at 18 years old, and then moved to Los Angeles with literally no money at 20 years old, and lived in the first terrible place I found in Hollywood because I just wanted to go do something with my life and go and make something and be passionate about something. I don't think a lot of young people right now have that. They want to be taken care of first and foremost.
Yeah, I mean, I think this generation, so many of the generations before us, specifically in relationship to Gen Z, have had this great struggle that they've gone through within their lifetime. We have yet to have that. And I think we sit at home, we're coddled by our parents, we have our safe spaces. People just want you to be happy and get your little participation award. And by virtue of doing that, we've lost the wherewithal to really go out and make ourselves successful and do the hard work. And we don't want to do the hard work anymore because we feel as though that should not be a part of our lives. We shouldn't have to struggle. And in that, we're finding meaningless things to get upset about. And that's what the left does every single day. That's why you hear these crazy stories of trans children and acceptance this and safe space that, because we lack a great struggle in our generation. So we're searching for it in places where it's nowhere to be found.
Yeah, there's like no purpose. You know, what is someone's purpose? When you take away God, you take away some sort of passion driving your life, and all you see is like boobs on social media all day.
Right?
It's like, what is your passion in life? What is your purpose in life? I don't understand what it is for people. And again, I'm not trying to say that like our lives as conservatives doing this are perfect and we have so much passion and our lives are great and we're never victims of social media. Of course we are, right? Every single person is a victim of this age, this technology age. But to say that this is not more of a leftist problem is of course true, because the left wants people to think that they need to be taken care of by their government or by these ideologies of racism and white privilege and all this. They think that they need to be taken care of by these kind of things. And we as conservatives believe that no, you should be able to be left to your own accord and be able to get things done yourself, and you're going to be a better, happier person. But that sort of old school pick yourself up by the bootstraps mentality in America has been thrown to the wayside, and then that's connected with social media, and it's connected with people not getting jobs and big multinational corporations and all of this stuff that is just confounded into this huge bubble. What I would say it's like a bubble of leftism and all these things that is just going to one day explode, and once all basically the baby boomers are gone in this country, I don't know where we're going to be.
Yeah, it's really, really tough to think about. And we grow up in this generation of, we want our kids to be nothing but happy. We want our kids to be nothing but happy. That's all that they should experience in life. And if they experience anything outside of that, we've somehow failed as a parent, when that's not true. Everybody goes through struggles. Everybody gets sad. Everybody gets offended. It's something that you have to go through in life to really learn who you are as a person deep down. And people are not learning who they are because they're being coddled from all of these things. And in this article, another thing that they talk about is that today's young people are more likely to attribute their hardships or to bad luck or other factors beyond their control rather than their own work. So it's exactly what you just said. We take away that pick yourself up by the bootstraps mentality, and now anything wrong that happens in our life is attributed to some form of bad luck, or the white man's holding me down, or it's capitalism at play here. It's not my own issues. It's not me doing something wrong. Other people have failed me. Other factors have failed me. And what does that do to a society when you take away that self-accountability?
What does it say about people reading books? Isn't that at the bottom?
Yes. So that's another thing that's mentioned in here. Let's see, a high percentage of high school students who read books in long-form content every day has dropped from 60% to 15% since the 1980s.
I will say this one I'm somewhat on the fence about, because I think it's good to read books, of course. Everyone should read books. I'm a big book reader. I used to be a lot bigger book reader, but not so much anymore. But now it's like you can go online and find everything now. So if you're not reading books and you're still getting information online, which, I mean, I'll go on YouTube and I'll be watching history videos, which I like to watch history videos a lot. And some of these videos, will have, tens of millions of views, like some of these very popular history videos.
Yeah.
And it's like someone's obviously watching these things. No one's refreshing their page 10 million times. So it's like, even if people aren't reading books, there is still a wealth of information out there that I think people are getting. I don't think that it's like a lack of wanting to learn. I really don't think that, because I think people are doing that more now than ever. I think it's just getting away from their phone or technology device that they don't want to do. They'd rather just do something online or with technology than actually sit down with a book and read.
I agree. And I think there is, the article also mentions down further that there is an aversion to long form content as well. But I think, of course, that's because I don't think the average high schooler could be sat down in a room for 2 hours with no phone, be given a book and said, hey, you can come out in 2 hours and then you can get back to what you were doing before. I think that would be honestly very difficult for the average high school student today in America.
I don't think you could do it.
I could definitely do that. What do you mean?
I don't know if you could.
I absolutely could do that. And the average high school student could not.
I could do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did it.
Why do you think I couldn't do that?
Well, you're younger than me.
So you're just making a prejudgment on me.
Yes. And I also know you.
Ageist.
I am ageist. I think it is harder for younger people. They've had social media longer than someone like
true.
Taylor and I have had it. You know, Taylor, when did Instagram become a thing, or Facebook even become a thing for you?
Oh, for me, I was like, wow, you're asking me for like world history lessons.
No, like for you, like when were you in college?
I got on Facebook like right away, and it came out in like 2007. So that was like I was like 17 in junior high school.
Okay, yeah,
maybe 2006.
Yeah,
and yeah, Instagram I held off for a few years and didn't get on till like 2010 or something.
Okay, yeah, I think that was the same. I think I got on 2011 in Instagram. That was my freshman year of high school. And then I was on Facebook in middle school. But this is a good tip for you parents out there, and also for kids, I guess. I don't know, or who want to have kids. My mom didn't let me have social media.
I need
something people don't know about me. Based mom, based Mrs. Witt. She didn't let me have social media growing up. And I remember I made a Twitter once, and she got very mad at me. I was grounded. I was grounded from my phone for like 2 months because I made a Twitter, and it happened all the time. And then I made another Facebook, got grounded and everything. But it was like so good that my mom didn't let me have those things. I think that was like a great learning experience for me to see. You feel like you're being left out, of all this stuff happening on social media. Oh, did you see Craig's new post of his swim's body? You know, it's like, and you wish that you saw
pale.
that. Sounds pale. Yeah, you wish that you saw that, but it's like, does it really matter? Like, it doesn't really matter at all. Like, I felt at the beginning that I was missing out. I want to create fake social media accounts so my mom can't find them. And now I'm kind of just like, you know, all the accounts that I have now that I do for social media as my job, all of them are strictly for work. Yep. Right? I don't use them for like personal stuff at all. It's not like I have a personal Instagram and a personal Facebook that I really use for work, for like, you know, just myself or my friends. It's like everything on social media is for work. And then I have my friends who I have in real life. So I don't know, maybe advice to parents: don't let your kids be on social media at the age of 13 or 10 years old when they're going to be it's like in that movie The Social Dilemma. I don't know, did you watch that?
I have not seen The Social Dilemma.
Yes.
The Social Dilemma, and it's like the suicide rates for young girls went up to like 250% in the last 15 years or something. That's astronomically high. That's like the exact same time frame as social media came into existence. Why do you think that is? Little girls are seeing these super hot chicks all over social media, comparing themselves to them, and then they say, oh, my nose is too big, my ears are too floppy, whatever, and then they like get so sad and depressed and anxious. It's horrible for young people, right? So I think it is safer to be on as an older person, and you can kind of judge it and say, I just want to post a picture of my friend sometimes, like whatever. It's no big deal, okay? It's not the worst thing in the world. But for little kids who are attached to their phone every single day, and you're putting this constant stuff in front of them all the time, and I'm sounding like a boomer right now, I understand talking about this, but it was good for me growing up without it for the most part, and I think that it would be good for a lot of other people too if they tried to do the same with their kids.
Yeah, I mean, it was the same for me. I didn't get a phone until I was 13 years old. Couldn't wear makeup last year. I couldn't wear makeup till around that age. My mom, kudos to her for keeping me in line, because I would beg and plead because everybody else was doing it and I wanted to be in the same boat as everybody else. But she kept me sort of grounded from that and kept me separate from that. And when I see children now, I mean children who are 2-3 years old and they're crying or whining, and their parents just throw a tablet or a phone in their face. It's heart-wrenching. It's really tough for me to see.
Taylor, when did your mom start letting you wear makeup? I'd be
Look, just because my name's Taylor, don't have to
transitioned.
When did you get a phone, Taylor?
They were ahead of their time, giving me a unisex name.
Yeah. When did you get a phone?
When did I get a phone? I don't know, probably like early 2000s. Probably when I was like mid-teens, like I don't know, 14, 15, something like that.
Yeah.
But I had like a flip phone, and
I had the slide.
T9 texting and all that kind of stuff.
Gotcha.
When you only had a certain amount of texts, like it would be texting your girlfriend, and then like it's like undelivered, and you're like, I was just about to say I love you, and now I can't send it. I can't.
Is that the struggle that you went through?
That was a struggle. You never had that struggle, huh?
No,
Where
I
you
did
ran
not.
out of text. Yeah, we used to run out of text. We used to run out of minutes talking to people. Now these kids have it so easy. They get unlimited text, unlimited internet, unlimited minutes. Like, you guys don't know how good you have it. We had our top 8. You ever had top 8 on T-Mobile? Yeah, where you could like have unlimited with your top 8.
Oh, I thought you were talking about MySpace. Were you on MySpace?
Yeah, I was on MySpace too. But then my mom found out and I got grounded again. So, Yeah. But if you're into reading books.
Which you should be, it's a trait that we should all have. PragerU has the book club. And we had an episode just come out recently based around Frankenstein. So essentially what our book club is we have Michael Knowles, a very fantastic conservative, one of my favorites, comes up and he brings guests on his show to talk about their favorite books. And the episode this week is Gina Bontempo, and she's talking about Frankenstein, which is one of her favorite books. I'm going to play you a little clip here. Here we go.
I am so pleased that you made me read this book. Somehow, I never read it. No teacher ever assigned it to me. I never picked it up. And it is so tremendous. But the story of Frankenstein, and actually, I don't want to omit the subtitle, because I think the subtitle is very important.
Yes, that's right.
Frankenstein, or the modern Prometheus. And we'll get to that in a little bit.
Yeah.
But the story is very different. You know, when we think of Frankenstein in the modern culture, we think of some zombie type guy with two, bolts sticking out of his neck. Could you briefly, before we get into the real profundity of this book, can you tell us what happens, just nuts and bolts of the plot?
Sure. And it's a tough one to summarize because it's a story within a story within a story. Yep. But we start out with Robert Walton, who is a captain that is commandeering a ship to the North Pole. And he and his crew get into a little bit of trouble. They get stuck between two large sheets of ice. It's quite dangerous. They're not really sure what's going to happen. And as they're stuck there, they see a man who's out in the snow and the ice with a dog sled with a couple of dogs around. And this man is obviously not in good shape. So they rescue him, they bring him on board. And as they're nursing him back to life, he starts to tell his story. And that man is Victor Frankenstein. And so the remainder of the book is him telling his story about how, starts out with, like all horror stories do, a very peaceful, beautiful, idyllic life with a beautiful family. And
living
then
in Switzerland.
Yes, yeah, beautiful scenery with, a lovely father and a cousin who was like a sister to him. But a life that's marked with tragedy. So his mother dies at quite a young age because she's caring for her, sort of stepdaughter / niece that she adopted, and is caring for her when she has scarlet fever, dies. And so, this life that's marked with tragedy, he then goes on to school, and he has a singular obsession with science.
Yes.
Which is, one of the main themes of this book. And he becomes obsessed with creating life, and he wants to create life out of nothing.
There we go. So that's a little clip from the book club with Michael Knowles and Gina Bontempo. I hope that you'll check it out. Even if you don't read the books that are featured in the book club, it's always a great resource to look at, and you get a lot of wisdom from the guests that he has on his show.
Yeah, Gina's great. She's one of my really good friends. I really like Gina. She's really nice. And Frankenstein is one of my favorite books, too. You should have asked me to do it. But
should have asked you.
Yeah, it's so sad. Frankenstein is such a sad book. It's really like the creature goes out and he has all these struggles, and he's trying to find love, and he wants to love humans, but then the humans kind of turn him away. Even after he's doing nice things for the humans, and they turn. It's really sad. It's a sad book.
I haven't read Frankenstein.
What books have you read?
What books have I read?
Read a book?
Yeah, I have read.
You're such a Gen Z depressed.
Will is
doesn't
actually
read books.
Yeah, I'm just like the Joker of
the
group, and Will is the Dark Knight over here, who's read everything and knows everything.
Well,
what are you doing
What
here?
book would you choose to do the book club?
The Hamlet, but they already did that episode. Hamlet.
Okay, give another book. They already did that one.
Give another book. Oh, okay. So my favorite book. So this is going to sound really bad, but it's actually a children's book. It's called The Miraculous Journey of Edward Tulane. Have you ever read that book?
I don't read children's books.
I read it when I was a child.
Well, then why would we do a children's book on the book club,
Because
Amala?
it's my favorite book of all time. It's so good, and it doesn't matter how many times I've read it. I read it in my adulthood. I save my original copy that I got when I was a kid, when I read it for the first time for my children.
Yeah, I'm hoping that me and Michael Knowles can do Goosebumps right after that one, so it should be just as good.
Do you guys see how Will is just roasting me this entire stream? I think he's in a bad mood today.
I'm in a good mood today.
I know, he took a shot at me too. What the heck, man?
It's because I like you guys so much.
Yeah.
Okay?
He was
I'm
on
trying
the
to
phone with his car insurance company earlier, so I don't know, maybe.
That put me in a bad mood
Yeah.
today. It wasn't the best.
This is
That's
how you
okay.
show your appreciation is by roasting us?
Yes. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Life is hard.
You know what? I'm about to check Will. And the way that we're going to check Will is by checking Will's white privilege. That's our third story for today.
Oh,
And yet another
Another good
fantastic
transition.
segue from Amala Ekpunobi. Your beloved host, your beloved co-host.
That was like
No,
a Will
Amala is better
level
than me.
self pat on the back. Too. You're just what is going on today? All the roles are being reversed.
We're just taking each other's traits. So I found this check your privilege test online. This is at the monitorracism.eu website. And Will and I are both going to take this privilege test, as well as Taylor. Now, once you make it to 13 points during this privilege test, you have your honorary white privilege. So there are 26 questions out of these. If any of us get to 13 on this little board here, we have white privilege. So we're going to start off with number 1. Taylor, listen up. Will, listen up.
I'm keeping score.
Okay. If I wish to, I can arrange to be in a company of people of my race most of the time. I can arrange to be in their company. Like if you want to be around white people, you could just be around white people.
Probably. Yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean,
I could make
But why
a
would
group
you?
of people in a certain race to hang out with, but like I never think about
I'm not
that.
going out of my way to.
Apparently, this is a privilege that you have as a white person.
Wait, do you have that privilege?
I also have that privilege. I can arrange to be in the
This
company.
test is racist. Are they saying like black people can't gather together in the same race? What is going
Yeah,
on?
they don't know how, apparently, according to this test.
So we're already starting off a little racist on this test. Number 2, I can be sure that no matter where I move to, my neighbors in that location will be pleasant or neutral towards me.
I can't say. I'm up late recording loud YouTube videos and
Yeah. I
You know,
think
my
just as a
dog.
conservative, you can't be sure
yeah,
of that.
exactly. I'm not putting one down.
No, I'm not
Yeah,
either.
my homeless neighbors aren't very pleasant to me or neutral.
Yeah.
They take dumps outside my
Yeah.
doorstep. So
Yeah.
I guess
yeah.
that's a privilege we don't share. Okay. Number 3, I can go shopping alone.
So we're
and-
still at 1, right? Everyone has
We're
one.
still
I'm
at
keeping
1.
score.
You
Yeah,
guys in
Will's
the
keeping
audience,
score.
here in the comments, keep score too.
Yeah.
Keep score of your own privilege as well. Yeah.
Check your own privilege.
Yes, check your own privilege. Number 3, I can go shopping alone and be sure that I won't be followed or harassed.
I can't do that.
I
When
can't
you're-
do that.
You know, when you're in the spotlight,
Yeah.
you never know what could happen.
I've been out with Will so many times and he's not even alone and he's still followed and harassed by people who want to talk to him.
Yeah, and that's just Taylor following me.
Pretty much.
I have a story. I don't want to call anyone out, but I have a story where someone did that to me at an event I did, and they followed me to where I was going to eat, and it was very strange. It was horrible, actually. It's not fun. If you're watching this and you're a fan, don't be a creep.
What did
Okay,
they
it's
say to
very-
you? Did they do anything or say anything?
I told this person I don't want to say the story because I don't want to I feel kind of bad.
Okay.
You know, but essentially it was not cool.
Okay.
It was not cool coming to a place where I was going to be alone, and then he followed me there and found me there, and it was very strange after an event.
Yeah, sometimes fans just love you a little bit too much.
Yeah, I don't like that.
But yeah, so that's a privilege that Will
I
doesn't
love
have.
how Will's not privileged because he has too many fans. Seriously, are we really gonna?
We get to take the privilege off because
No, it's the same
people
for
love it.
Amala. It's the same for Amala.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but I
So I
get
guess
both
I'm
ways.
the only one that checks.
So
I'm privileged.
Taylor gets a point. I mean, I get it from
You don't think
people
you'd be followed?
No, I would not be followed.
or harassed. No.
Okay, fine.
Okay, let's
I'd
see.
follow you.
Number 4, I can turn on the television, open a newspaper, and see people of my race widely represented.
Yeah.
Yes for me. You can check that
Yes,
for me.
Yes, for all of us. Huh? Okay, next one.
Okay.
Easy.
I can go to a museum or art gallery and will see people of my race widely represented in the objects and artworks.
Well, I don't think art nowadays even has people in it. It's more
No.
like toilet seats with the president's face in it. So.
Also, if there are art exhibits featured now, it's all about like Native Americans and minorities. Like they
Yeah.
definitely aren't represented.
So I think
Yeah.
I get a check for that one because
Amala
there's a
gets
lot
one.
of African American history museums that are opening up in this woke community. The woke mob is doing this, so I win a check for that. Let's see. I can be sure that when told about our national heritage or our civilization, I am shown that people of my color made it what it is. Well, then you guys both obviously get a check for that.
Wait, it's saying that
That
white
when we
people
talk
made it
about
what
like
it
the
is?
founding of America or civilization, you are shown people with your skin tone as to who
You are
made that.
too.
I am too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we all are.
We hear it all the time. We
Right.
all get that check.
We all get a check.
Okay.
Easy.
Number 7, I can be sure that my children will be taught a curriculum which testifies to the existence of my race. Yes.
Duh. What kind of stupid
What
question
curriculum
is that?
doesn't say
Yeah,
that
what
white
curriculum
people
doesn't-
or black people does
Yeah,
not
exactly.
exist?
Hello, children. Welcome to your first day of preschool. Lesson number 1. Black people do not exist. It's like, what?
That person who you saw, not real.
Not real. I am not real.
Yeah, a black kid like sitting in class and just like just ignore them, like look at
hello?
them like they're invisible.
Okay, number 8. I can go into a shop and easily find the food, music, or clothes which represent my race and fit with my cultural traditions.
Can you?
I mean, depends on what you view black cultural traditions as, because I can go and find
Like what?
actually not
No.
gonna say. I
Yeah,
can
I
go
can't
and
say
I'm
find.
gonna
anything.
say no on this because I'm like Scandinavian like heritage, and like you can't find Norwegian food at a grocery store, and I wouldn't
No.
want to. It's not that great. No
I don't know,
offense to my heritage.
I just have a very American palate, I guess. I don't know. I don't like go and find white clothes.
So we're gonna give
Or white
ourselves
food.
no checks for that. No,
No
checks.
No
Okay.
checks. We're oppressed in that way,
Yeah.
for sure.
Sometimes we can't find where the mayonnaise is, and we get lost in the supermarket.
I'm not going to say any stereotypes in regard to myself, but I can understand that sentiment. Number 9, I can go to a hairdresser and be sure that they can cut my hair.
I cannot. No, there's
No.
no way. No.
No. Taylor.
Sport clips for the win. baby. They take care of me.
Taylor gets
Taylor
I'm
gets a
privileged.
point. Taylor's winning so far on the
Yes.
privilege.
He
Oh
is.
man.
Let's see if we can catch up. Number 10, I can count on my skin color not to work against the appearance of my financial reliability.
Yes, I can count that off for me.
I think
I'll
I can
give a
count
check.
that off for me. I don't think
Think?
people view me as financially irresponsible because of my skin color. Can you guys confirm or deny that?
Maybe just the McDonald's in your backseat.
Yeah.
Maybe the McDonald's bag. I'm going to give myself a point for that. I've never had anybody judge me or judge my finances based on my skin color. That I am aware of.
I'll put a check for you, Taylor.
Sounds good.
Let's see. Okay, number 11. I can swear, dress scruffily, or not answer letters without having people attribute these choices to the bad morals, poverty, and illiteracy of my race. I don't
know.
know. You
It's a
can
tough
just not
question.
take care of yourself and be a rude individual, and
No,
then
I
people.
feel like if we don't take care of ourselves, they're like, oh, they're like neckbeard.
I mean, Will wears like flip flops and shorts to work
Yeah.
and tank tops and stuff, and you know, I don't know. Do we attribute bad things to you because of that?
Because of my whiteness.
If I did this, I would be called ghetto. If you guys did it, you'd be called white trash. So I
Yeah.
think it would be attributed to your race regardless
So
of
no
what you
check.
did. No check.
Okay, no check.
Let's see.
Stupid question.
Number 12, I can speak in public to a powerful male group without putting my race on trial. Yes.
Oh, yes.
That's just dumb. Just
a
keep
powerful
going.
male
That's
group.
stupid. To a powerful male group. Okay. Let's see. Number 13, I can do well professionally without being called a credit to my race. Yes. I'll take a check for that. Will you guys take a check for that?
Sure.
Wait, I don't know.
Yeah, I missed it.
You can perform well professionally without being called a credit to your race. Like, they're not going to say you're really good for a white person.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
Yeah.
I guess not.
No.
I mean, maybe when I play basketball. Other than that, I don't know.
When you play basketball and when
Yeah.
you dance?
Yeah, when I dance.
Will's got
so,
some
like,
dance moves.
That's about it. I guess I'll give a check.
Okay.
Okay.
Number 14, I am never asked to speak for my entire racial group.
I am.
I don't think that I am.
No, you are not.
No.
They.
And no one's ever
definite
been like,
opposite.
Taylor, what do white people think?
Yeah. No. You.
Not
So
right.
you
I feel like-
are.
Well, I feel like if I say something on social media, they say, "Well, you're just saying that because you're white." You know, sometimes people
Yeah.
say that, like the left.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I get the exact opposite. I get the you do not speak for black people.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's because you're saying the wrong thing.
Exactly.
You're saying
Yeah.
conservative things. so
I'm
that's
saying stuff that they don't want to hear. So Will gets a point, Taylor doesn't, and I don't. Okay. Number 15, I can remain oblivious of the language and customs of people of color without feeling my own culture any penalty or any oblivion.
Check.
Yeah, I
I
think
think.
you can be oblivious to other languages and customs
Yeah.
and not feel threatened by that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a big deal.
What about
We
you,
all get a
Taylor?
check.
Sure.
Sure. Okay, number 16, I can criticize our government and talk about how much I fear its policies and behavior without being seen as a cultural outsider.
Check.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
We can all criticize the government.
We do it every
right?
day.
Yeah, literally every day.
And we're not called cultural outsiders for that.
Well, we're called cultural outsiders for other reasons.
Yes, that's true. That just comes with being a conservative. That's just on that territory. Number 17, if a police officer stops me, I can be sure I haven't been singled out because of my race. Give me a check.
Bars. I can also be sure.
Taylor, can you be sure?
Sure, I missed that one, but yeah, just put me down.
Are the police
Okay.
going to pull you over because you're white?
Oh, no.
No, there you go. Great answer, great answer. Number 18, I can be pretty sure that if I ask to talk to the person in charge, I will be facing a person of my own race. You would never know.
Yeah, that's a stupid question. That's like how you answer that how you answer that is determines like what your view is. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly.
It's
If I answer, yes, I will be speaking to someone of my race, I'm insinuating that white people
Right.
have more power. And if I say no, then I'm insinuating that I don't have any power and that black people can't be in positions of power.
So does it check?
I think it's no checks all around.
Okay.
Yeah, no checks.
No checks all around. Okay.
I can be sure I'll be speaking to a Karen.
Yeah, right. Number 19, I can easily buy books, children's toys, posters, greeting cards, or magazines featuring people of my race.
Yeah.
Yes.
Easy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Number 20, as a child, I had access to books where the heroes and protagonists were the same race or color as I am. Yes.
Lord of the Rings. They were all pretty white.
It's true.
Except for the orcs.
Taylor and Will love Lord of the Rings. I haven't seen it yet, and they reference it, I kid you not, 24/7, 365. All day long.
That's true.
I was waiting
was
for you
trying to
guys to
think
do
of a
another
reference,
reference.
Muster the Rohirrim.
Taylor can literally sit and quote the entire beginning of the movie.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that on a live one day.
Yeah.
Just the first hour.
Amala and I are gone.
It's a good
Yeah.
party trick. Okay, number 21. I can go home from most meetings of organizations I belong to feeling somewhat tied in rather than isolated, out of place, outnumbered, unheard, held at a distance, or feared. There were so many ways to just say the same thing. And I
Yes,
think we all
right.
get a check for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
22. I can take a job with an affirmative action employer without having coworkers suspect that I got it because of my race.
I can. Or not.
No,
Or
I don't think
can.
anybody
No,
can.
I can.
You can.
Yeah.
Taylor probably can. But I don't think anybody who got a job at an affirmative action employer would be suspected of getting it because of their race. That's why affirmative action is wrong. That's why we fight back against affirmative action, because you want people to feel proud of their actual merit, of their actual character. So no, if you got a job at an affirmative action employer, you cannot be sure that you didn't get that job because of your race. And that's why affirmative action is wrong. Everybody should be sure that they got their jobs or they got whatever success has come to them based on their own merit and their character. Anyways, that was my rant on that.
Tell us how you really feel.
Number 23, I can be sure that the gatekeepers in my life, such as my boss, my local MP, or my landlord, are the same color or race as me.
Again, all these questions are like, how you answer determines like how you, or will reflect your worldview. It reflects whether
Exactly.
you're racist. So if you have that expectation, that speaks to your individual
Yes.
thing.
You shouldn't care what the gatekeepers in your life, what color they are.
Yeah. I don't think it matters.
You should see everybody as everybody. They're
Yeah.
just people.
My landlord's black.
My landlord is Asian. What's your landlord?
I'm like Middle Eastern or something.
There we
Wow.
go.
So look at all this diversity.
Exactly, right?
So is it a check or not a check?
I guess it's not a check because we disagree with the question itself.
That's
We're not
right.
privileged because we have diverse landlords. Obviously.
That's so
If
funny.
your landlord's Middle Eastern, it's impossible to have white privilege, okay?
Yeah. Free pass.
Yeah. Free Palestine.
Number 24. I can be sure that if I need legal or medical help, the color of my skin will not work against me. Yes. Give me a check. It's not going to hurt me,
No.
and it won't hurt you guys.
I mean, there are probably certain diseases that have greater risk factors for white people and black people and whatever
Yeah.
other race. And so in that sense, yeah, and that's where you get these like articles about talking about like racist, medical treatment because they ask these type of questions on forums and stuff. And
Yeah,
they're like,
right.
oh, it's racist. It's like, no, it's just science.
It's just science.
Follow the science.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
black people are more disposable to sickle cell anemia. That's why they ask you for your race. It's just insane that people think that that's somehow a racist question and they're moving to take that out of the medical profession. Just wild. But yeah, I think we can all if we need it, seek out legal or medical help regardless of our race and regardless of our skin tone. Number 25. I can choose makeup or bandages in flesh color and have them more or less match my skin tone.
I mean, I'm going for neon green, baby. You know what I'm saying?
You're going for the cool ones?
Yeah, exactly, with a race
Little
car on it.
Penguins and Pixar Band-Aids. No, we can all get makeup and Band-Aids that match our skin tone. I don't think that's a problem. I'm wearing makeup right now, and I think it matches my skin tone. At least I hope.
It does.
Thank you. Thank
It's
you.
very nice.
Sometimes they're darker than me in the winter when I'm really white.
Yeah.
So I feel oppressed because the Band-Aids are like, they have a tan and
Let's
I
take a
don't.
point off for Taylor. It doesn't work for him. Last one, number 26. At school and university, I can be sure that most of the teachers were the same color or race as me.
I could not be assured that.
No, I don't think anybody can be assured of that.
No, part of my high school was in Brazil, so I was like the only white kid.
Right?
So I've experienced oppression in that sense.
You would hope that people just would not care what color you are. It's such a crazy thing that we're fighting for a representation of colors rather than representation of thought or of just anything other than your skin color or your gender. It should be more about what you think, your merit, your character, what you have achieved in life, what you have done for society. But instead we're focusing on, oh, I'm black and I hope my teacher's black too. Or I'm black and I hope my doctor or my pilot is black too. Just doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Yeah, if my landlord isn't black, my life is somehow worse than white people.
Exactly. Like,
That's what it's basically saying. It's like saying that if everyone in your life isn't black like you, isn't the same like race as you, then your life is worse. That's not how it works. Your life isn't worse because people are a different race than you, you idiot.
That itself is a racist
That's what
formulation.
racism is.
Yeah. Yep.
That's racism. Your life is better because people from all different races do all sorts of different jobs and come within variance within a society. Not because everyone is the exact same race as you. It makes no sense.
Yeah, now we're living in this whole neo-segregationist world where it's just happening more and more, but under the vein of it being positive and being something good for people of color and to check white people of their privilege. And it's just not the case. It's not the case. We're making our society worse by viewing everything through the lens of race. If you're looking for race everywhere, if you're looking for racism everywhere, guess what? You're going to find it everywhere. And that's exactly what this test exemplifies. So how did we score, Will? How many? Do we all have white privilege?
Well, yes, we do, Amala. Looks like I had the middle, you had the least, and Taylor had the most.
But we all qualify because we all scored above 13. So this test says if you had answered more than 13 yes out of 26, have you considered the role of white privilege in your life?
Yes, and I have considered it to be stupid, and I refuse.
I agree. I share that sentiment for
Thank
my
you.
fellow Americans.
Thanks, Michelle. Guys, we are very glad you joined us on this live today for this presidential address. It's been a good one. We are on PragerU.com, where you can check us out, all of our different videos. Make sure you're following me and Amala on social media at the Will Witt, at the Amala Ekpunobi. And that's about all we got today, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. We're going to be not here tomorrow because we got a very special treat, but we're going to be doing kind of a different type of setup tomorrow, so watch out for that at the tomorrow afternoon. But we're not going to be here, so get ready. Hang on to your butts. It's going to be a big one. Okay?
Stay tuned, guys.
Stay tuned. Thanks for watching.
Thank you. Bye.